Hello, guys. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps, Daily Teachings. Sorry, guys, a little late video today. There's a lot going on for me. Anyways, um, before I start, let's do a quick introduction. And first of all, from the market perspective, today was one of those choppy days that was not a trend day, right? So a lot of market plays were not working, news plays were working, so and a lot of breakouts were failing. So we had a couple of losers in the morning, and then we had a decent day later in the day. Some good wins in Tesla, SMCI. So we'll talk about that, and Boeing short and Taiwan semi short. So bunch of plays to cover, guys. And let's do a quick introduction to anybody who's new to my YouTube, new to my Twitter, or new to my our community. These trade recaps and teachings are from all these places. Anything I share on Twitter or in YouTube videos or anything on in our community, either a day trade, swing trade, or be it an investment idea. We do not trade random. We trade with the fixed system. The system I teach has been used by thousands of traders across the world. Ripster EMA Clouds to trade successfully and consistently. System is how you trade. Setups is what you trade. These are part of my four pillars that I teach. Four pillars of trading. So our system is repeatable. The setups, we always play same setups, 10 to 15 day trading setups. Then I have swing setups or investment setups. We always repeat it again and again and again based upon, the our cloud system, the price, support, resistance, chart patterns. That's, we repeat it again and again. Anyways, every day before the market open, 20 minutes before the market open, half an hour before the market open, we provide a game plan to our community, which is in front of you, that includes all the plays. Either it's earnings, news, upgrades, downgrades. We provide that to the community in the game plan. You see the game plan in front of us. Today there was a bunch of news plays: Intel, Taiwan semi, GLW, and of course we have our market plays which had news, some upgrades and downgrades as well. And in addition to these game plans, we also provide what we call as our daily levels. You can use these daily levels as support and resistance combined with the EMA clouds to trade either long or short. You can pause the screen and review how we use these daily levels. In addition to that, we also trade something, one of my day to day three strategy that I did a free webinar as well with a lot of people. So these are our day to day three setups, and this was a list for the day to day three setups. If you want to learn more about day to day three setup, watch my previous videos. So how to play those. We use our repeatable system to trade these longer short. DELL was a solid play. Not all of them will trigger, not all of them will give us a trigger, but you just have to look at the chart and make an educated decision. Do we want to long it or short it? What we're going to do with there. ANVS was another day three winner from our setup. All right, so that was the introduction. I'm usually on a voice first few hours when the market open, guiding the traders through the longs, the shorts, the market comments. Yeah, are we bullish? Are we bearish? Are we in a chop? So trying to give the guidance to my community through the trades. So let's start. Let's start with the Tesla, right? So we have been trading Tesla for last almost a week now, right? Tesla has been running every day. So what was our plan on Teslas today? So I'll just show you the screenshot before I show you the live guidance. So Tesla was gapping down today, right? You see the gap from Friday's close. So we were gapping down on Tesla. So we were bearish to start the day. We were under the clouds. We were under the EMA clouds. Our system was telling us that we are bearish, right? If I want to look at, let me see if I can show you that. If I want to look at the levels on Tesla, right? 247 was a big support resistance that I provided in the pre-market. So that was a big level to watch on Tesla. And then let's go back and show you what happens here, right? So what I said was in the morning, no longs, can short scalp, right? That's what I said, 931. That was my guidance. And then we were short scalping it, right? We short scalp like 245 puts or anything. You can short scalp it. You can short scalp the shares. And this again, it was the morning amateur move trade. This was the trade, was the first 10-15 minutes trade. And what happens, right? So my target was 245. So as soon as you hit your 245, you cover most of your shorts. and when it pushes over 512 you get out, rest, break even. Remember, this line was the risk and the entry on the short, or the pops to the EMA Clouds. So you are short there, and then you cover the first 20 minutes. So that's fine. We had our morning shorts. You see that we covered here at 245s. And then when it gets over the 3450s, that's what I'm saying. If you can read here, now bullish, no short anymore. We are over 3450 clouds. So this is where you start your long. Your risk is 248, like I said here. Maybe let me see if I can show you guys here the guidance on the Tesla. Let's see when we were long here on Tesla. Okay, so all right, you see that, right? So this is where you long it. Long versus 248 is okay. And now, of course, our first target is this 254. This is where you lock first of your initial profits, because this is a resistance from 2 days ago. You can see the pre-market highs, right? So that was our first target. And then it pulls back. That's fine. You know, we lock most profit there, and then it pulls back. Either you can add a gain on this pullback and risk the same area of the clouds, or you can wait for the flag setup. Anyways, it held the 512s and then it came back right here flagging, and it was ready to break out of the flag, and that's where I started again, of course along here, and then I started long here. And my target now was 255 was of course my earlier target. Then my target was this breakout I mentioned, right? 258, 252.78. This target I mentioned at 1010, and this is where I mentioned that breakout. And once this time we break out of that, and there was a seller that we cleared, there was a seller, we could tell there was a seller. So once we clear this seller, you add more into this position, you add more long here. See, I was trading 260s, I was trading 260s, I was trading 255s. Then it was all about adding more. If you're in options, you add more options. And 257.50 was my next target. We met that. 258.25 was next target. We met that. And then 260 was our final target. We got the confidence because there was a lot of flow coming in from chatter flow. There was the chatter flow is the options tool we use to monitor the money flow, the options flow. So there was a lot of options flow coming in, so that gave us an added confidence to add more into our position. So I rolled into 260, those moved nicely. So and I logged most profit closer to 260. When it pulled back, I was out here, everything out here, right? When it's breaking 512s. And then I kind of short scalped it as well. You can see my puts went, this is 10%. They did go like 20% almost from this short. So these are all our repeatable setups. The first morning short setup, morning 3450 long setup, there's a breakout long setup, and then there is a 512 short setup. So these are all the repeatable setups. So let's see what Tesla does. Now it's still holding the 512 on 1 hour, if you see that, but it's getting kind of extended, right? Powell is going to speak tomorrow, we'll see. But it's still, you see, it's still holding the clouds, still holding the support. There's a huge support level right here. If I draw the line here, it's big support level right here, 243s. So and it's important to hold 250, by the way. If it doesn't hold 250, then there's a problem. We're definitely breaking out. Just like go back, watch my previous week's videos, how we traded it long from 180 to 100, or even the swing idea, how it worked out. So you will see this chart, right? I shared this back in the day as well. So anyways, that was Tesla. We'll see how it does tomorrow. Definitely a lot of opportunities provided by Tesla today. Complete history. It's a good example of trading something long, short, all day. Because look at the range, guys. 245 to 260, $15 range. How much we can trade this? This was amazing, and it was different from yesterday, because yesterday we were always stuck in a range. Here we broke the morning range, we broke the pivot from a few days ago. So that was the setup on Tesla today. Really, really good, profitable trade for all of us. Good example to learn. All right, now let's look at one of our losers this morning was Amazon. So Amazon was setting up for a breakout. It has been setting up for a breakout for some time. So Amazon has been setting up for a breakout for some time, right? You see this setup. And most other setups like Apple, Google that I covered recently broke out. Only Amazon is lagging behind. That too would have broken out convincingly today if it was not for a choppy day. This was not a trend day. This was not a trend day. This was not a day where the big mega gaps were strong, right? I covered in the morning. I'll cover more in SPY QQQs, but I'll just talk about it right now. Um, Everything was selling right in the morning, Microsoft's, Google's, so everything was weak. So we knew it was not a huge trend day. There's the money is not flowing. If you look at SPY QQQ today, it was, in the morning it was, Qs was weak. You see here, right? Qs were weak in the morning. So we were weak and SPY was okay, but and we were failing. So we failed the breakout violently, right? So you see this candle. Even I was trading 200, 250, 250 calls as well. I told everybody to long it, and the stops were 199.50, and there was a buyer at 199.50 area all day. But again, there was a seller too. We could never hold above 200 after the morning pops. um, I was out at 10 a.m. You see here, 10 a.m. when this pushed here. So I was long. I was actually green for a while, but I didn't really lose much. I was, I cut it right when it was breaking this area, 200. I was out because I'm not interested in this job. I'm interested in the breakout. If breakout fails, that's fine. I lost like 20% on my puts. That's sorry, on my calls. That's fine. I was not interested. After that, it was just a waste of time, right? We were looking to see if it regains the bullish again, but it never really did. I did tell everybody that do not long it once 199.50 breaks, because once that bar was taken out, it flushed really hard, really hard. I said you don't buy. Nobody should be long. Period. And you could actually short it, right? Because it's under the clouds. It cleared a big support level and it's a short. So it was a loser in the community, but the main point to learn is why was it loser, and why did not touch it after the breakdown? What was the reason? That is important. Maybe it breaks out tomorrow. I don't know. If market is strong, I'm going to try the same setup again, because when it works, I'm going to get return of 100% to 200%. And when I lost 20%, and that's fine. So that was Amazon losing trade in the community today. So let's look at another one, Taiwan Semi, which was actually, Taiwan Semi was, I did take some off in the morning, the amateur move. It was not really personally a big loser for me, because I knew it's kind of, because it did push in the amateur move to 193. So let's look at Taiwan Semiconductor. So we were long Taiwan Semiconductor right at open. We were long. 193 was the first target. It did push, but then right after it failed. So you see, after the amateur move, this is the example of the amateur move. So it's very important to understand, right? There was a failure on Amazon, there was a failure on Taiwan Semiconductor. So what was the reason? Because not all the semiconductors were strong. Not all the semiconductors were strong. So when I saw this push, rejection, then I was out here. I was out here, right here at this area, because I have no interest when I don't see higher lows, higher highs, because I want to keep my loss minimal, right? Yes, if you're adding on the top, then you're losing more, but even then you have to cut here, and that's fine. You see, long 193 first target, we met a little bit close here, it was pulling back, then I cut the last piece right here at 512. It did bounce from 3450, but I was not interested. But then I did tell everybody, if 3450 breaks, it will be a gap fill short. In the gap, bearish under the clouds, short into the gap, working. No need to cover the shorts. 186 next target. We met 186. Next target was 185s. We almost met our 185 target, and then you cover right here. So you see the gap fill, right? You see the gap that we were filling. So you could make your money back and much more. And a lot of traders were short on Taiwan Semiconductor. In the morning, they were short once this cloud failed. Again, it's per the system. Our system tells us that we should be short here. We should not be long here. Even this bounce is not convincing. We should not be long here. we short this pop in the clouds, and then we fade it and hold our shorts all the way, right? So look at my guidance, and that was that, and you can see here how the Fibonacci targets are being met. So that was Taiwan Semiconductors, loser long, winner gap fill short, nice short in the community today. All right, let's look at Nike. So Nike was a beautiful guidance by Win today in the community. You can see his timestamp guidance, short versus 76. You can pause the screen and review his guidance all the way. I just have to, going a little fast today, but this was the fade, right? This was the breakdown of the 3450 clouds, and then it broke down of yesterday's lows, and there was no long. And what was happening on the daily chart? So daily chart was a bear flag breakdown. This was the setup, this right here. So this, my friends, is that A plus short setup. The chart is at 52-week lows, making lows. This is not where this is not bullish, or this is not an A plus bounce. But amateur trader will think it's an A plus. Maybe it's a cheap. Nothing is cheap. Every investor who has invested, right? Every investor who has invested since last 4 years is down now, right? So all these people who bought here, they're down now. Guess what? They will start panicking and cutting it, right? So that's why it makes it an A plus short and not an A plus long. Beautiful guidance, beautiful winner in the community today. All right, let's look at quickly at some semiconductor plays in the community today. SMCI. Let's see what was happening. SMCI definitely had some strength in the morning in the community. So I mentioned in the morning that SMCI and NVIDIA both are the longs over our pivots. Let's look at our pivots here. On SMCI, our pivot was 866, and we'll talk about NVIDIA later. So SMCI was pushing over. As soon as it pushes over our pivots, that's a long right there. It's a morning long setup. This is the setup you trained in the morning. It's the 10. Always take the first profit at 10 a.m. Either you are in here or you leave it alone, right? Because there's no news. Remember, there's no news. It's just a market play. It will go with the market. If Qs are breaking down, it will break down. Either you are in long here or you are not like long, right? So I talked about SMCI long, SMCI strong. Although Qs are heavy, take profits 900. Your first target. We hit the 900. I said it at 934. By the time it was 950. And 940, 950, we were we can go to the lower time frame just to show you guys, right? So by the time it was 957, we hit 915, because you take the first profit at 900. If 900 holds, you hold a little bit more, and then it pushed further to 914, 915, and you have to take profits, right? Look at the move from 865, 866 all the way to 915. So that's where you have to take a profits, right? So that was a morning long winner on SMCI. So next one, we're gonna just look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA was okay too as well, just like SMCI, but let's see what was NVIDIA doing. NVIDIA was also long over our pivots I mentioned in the morning. Again, I'm trading something else, but I still try to tell the traders what the good setups. You see the resistance pivots breaking 127, 129 that I provide in the morning. This is where it's breaking out here, already over the 127 pivots, and the target I gave was 131. That's the target I gave, and I think by 10 a.m. we did meet that 131 target. Nothing special. You have to take 10 a.m. profits, guys. It is very important when you are trading in the morning. Your first profit should always be at 10 a.m. And remember, the whole other sectors, mega caps were weak, Qs was weak. So you have to understand that. And because there's no news, we can't expect the runs every day. So we have to be proactive when making these trades, right? If the stock has already ran most of its ATR, you are risking it higher. If you're taking a trade at 10 a.m., you're risking more. Either you are in at open because your risk is right under the clouds, or you're not in. So anyways, SMCI and NVIDIA were the morning trade winners. SMCI was actually a midday breakout as well. I missed to recap that, but yeah, that was it. All right, let's talk about AMD now, guys. So AMD, we are actually swinging today as well. This was the AMD setup. So you see that. I can go back and show you guys if you want to. Let's see if I can find that. Maybe I think I have shown you guys in my past tweets. I've shown that. Let's see if I can find the chart that I'm talking about. Actually, might be here in my feed. Yeah. All right, so let's look at AMD, right? So what was my idea last week? So my idea last week was this, right? Weekly hammer, if we hold 55.50 EMA, we can see higher into the earnings versus 160. 160 is risk. This is also our swing in our community. We have, this is our ongoing swing versus 150s and 160s. So you see breaking out, simple chart pattern, I gave it last week. And then you see it pushing higher. 172 and 174 was my next 174 was my next target. We hit our next target today. Now my next target was 180, right? So it was a simple chart pattern setup. I don't even need EMAs on here. And let's see what I said in the community on AMD. So we were long, mostly I was not day trading it, but it was mostly a swing trade I was mentioning. And I did tell everybody continue to swing. I told them half an hour before the market closes, and most everything is selling off. And look at it, AMD is already closing toward 180 target. So nice swing winner so far, AMD. All right, so now let's look at another one of the setups that I shared. I did share it here. I did share it in my community as well. Let's look at it, right? Why did I share this setup? What was happening? So I saw that Friday that this base was setting up, right? This base was setting up. Your risk was 30. You buy 31.50s, your $1.50 is your risk, your target is 36. So that was a simple setup, nothing crazy about it. So let's see what happened today. So today we are already at closing at, let's see, Intel, we are closing at 35 already after hours. So what did I say in the community this morning? Again, so in the community I said that we should push higher, good long as well. I told everybody right in the morning, and you see the pullback to 34.50 clouds. Look at the 1 hour chart. Whenever you are swing trading, you always look at the 1 hour chart. Look at the 1 hour chart. If 1 hour chart is holding the trend, especially if it's holding 512 EMA clouds, you should hold, right? There's no reason to cut if 512 EMA on 1 hour is hold. So Intel is going close to that 36 target of our swing target, and there you can close your half your profits and leave half. I think it's a good long-term bet as well. If it pushes to 40 bucks, we'll sell everything. But anyways, Intel, beautiful swing trade. You can see before and after. I even tweeted it for my followers as well. So let's go to the next one. All right, let's quickly look at DELL. So what was happening on DELL today, right? So let's see. So what was the plan on DELL? So DELL was a part of our day 2, day 3 setups. We've been talking about this setup on DELL right here. Let me see. I think it's right here. You see this, right? This is a daily chart. See what DELL is doing and see where it is. It's right at the 34.50 EMA. Let's see why not my 55 not showing here. Should we see? Yeah, right here. You see that where it's bouncing from. There's 30, 34, 20 EMA, 50 EMA. So this morning, DELL pushed over the 20 EMA MTF Ripster clouds, right? We did have DELL levels as well. 139.63 was our pivot, and you could see that once it broke, it started moving. And I did mention DELL on high watch. I told everybody day 2 setup, long versus clouds, check day 2, day 3 sheet. 144 was my next target, log some there. Then it pulled back. You can cut and wait, and you can re-add here. And then it broke the 5-2. There's no longs, but once it reclaims that, you get back in. So you get back into that long and long it. I really like DELL. If the market is bullish in coming days, DELL is going to provide a heck of a setup. So let's see how it goes. But this morning, it was a nice setup over MTF Ripster 2021 EMA Clouds. All right, let's look at Boeing this morning. So Boeing was a great opportunity today because we were long before the news came on Boeing. Let's go back and see what we were seeing. Let's go back to our game plan. So Boeing, what was our game plan? Accepts a plea deal to avoid a criminal trial, bullish to neutral. The pivot was 187. It breaks the pivot. I was on the voice. I told everyone Boeing is a good long, and Boeing's pushed all day to 191, right? So I stepped away. I had to take my son somewhere for a bit. And when I was gone, we broke 512s. And my traders, my students, we know that once this happened, we cut it. But that's a short here. And then the news hits. we have all the news bots in the community. You can see this hit at 11:50, and even the news bot was speaking on the voice that the Boeing news. A lot of traders in the community did really well on Boeing today. If you watch it, like it was kind of a home run for everyone on the Boeing put side. You can see how much we are trading, and that's it. It was a short here. And my guidance on the short side to the community was that your target should be 182s. Okay, so here when we break, so this is a short here. Ripster 3450 clouds. Your risk is right here. This is a bear flag breakdown. It's still heavy. I told everybody 184. If that breaks, we go lower. If that breaks, we go to MTF clouds at 182. These are my MTF clouds 20 and 55, and we hit our 182 target. And remember, MTF clouds act as a big support and resistance. That's why I told everybody to cover at 182. It's very important to cover there and look at the bounce. You could trade that C minus bounce. You can trade here. Literally, the 182.50 calls from this bounce went, they did go 60-70%. So my point is, a lot of opportunities. It was on our watch list. It was on our game plan. It pushed higher, breakdown. Beautiful, beautiful Boeing all-day trade, pre-market planning. That's how you nail, trading every day when you stay on the top of all these tickers. All right, let me look at that another one which was from our game plan, GLW. So GLW initially, let's go back and see our game plan. So GLW was right here. Sales exceed guidance, EPS at high end, good news. The resistance pivot was 49.63, support was 40.40, 39.40. Cautious on a 512 break, neutral to bullish. I was neutral to bullish bias, but if 512 breaks, I was not going to long it. But guess what? GLW held and breaks out of the pre-market high. This is where you long this right here. This is where you long. Your risk is kind of right here, like almost 90 cents or $1. But after that, GLW was long all day for us, right? So look at that. It pushes higher, 42 was the first target, 42.50. Then my next target was 43. Then 43 target met. It actually gave us more than the 43 target. And once it broke this, and we cut it, right? We didn't. I know it went sideways, but this was the time to move on. But you can see from where my pivot was 41.63, the one I gave in the morning. The breakout long, the targets, all targets met. Beautiful trade. Didn't even see the options on it, but it was a good trade on our shares. Let's go to the next one. All right, let's look at PLTR. So PLTR was on our game plan this morning. City did an upgrade. We had support pivot. We had resistance pivot. I told everybody only long over 27.75. Gap fill under it. Gap fill under it. So when it breaks that 27.75, there is no long. There is no long because that was the level I gave. It fills the gap, fades more. You short it. That's all what you do. No long there. No long at all. Really nice trade by everybody in the community. Sid and KS, everybody was doing nicely on the short side. Let's just look like one more ticker, ANVS. This was our day 2, day 3 setup from my repeatable strategy. Number one play in our day 2, day 3 setup. Support was 10.13, resistance was 11.51. The reason I had in the top was because it's a low floater. It had Parkinson news, so everything was kind of clicked together for this one, right? As soon as it breaks this pivot, that's a long. It breaks this flag, it's a long. So there's so many opportunities here, right? So this long right here, this is a risk, long. So beautiful. It went from like $17 since it went over the pivot I provided, 11.51. Non-stop, it kept on pushing, and it really moved nicely there. ANVS. All right, let's close today's recap talking about the market today. So market was choppy, right? Yes, it's gapping up after hours, but you see how SPY was up and it could never make a new high. So remember, 10 a.m. concept. If the stock is not able to make a new high, we most likely stay in the chop. QQQs never could make a new high. comes down, stays in the same range all day. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Same range all day, right? SPY, yes, you could short it. I mean, I don't know. I don't like that kind of wiki setup, but you can see that the morning range breakdown, you short it, fill the gap in the chop again. So when you see this kind of action, guys, it's a choppy day. And you see when we analyze the big seven, what is Apple doing? What is what is Microsoft doing? Look here, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, barely 10%, 1.07%, 0.1%, 0.3%, Nvidia down 0.1%, Meta up 0.22%. This was not, and most of that was a gap ups. So this was a job, right? A lot of things were selling off in the morning. You have to look at everything and then decide. And not only that, guys, when we have a big run, on SPY QQQ, right? This is the breakout that we talked about. Then we had a big run on QQQ. It's we can't just see crazy big candles all the way, all the time. We are going to have some consolidation candles, right? So tomorrow will be interesting. So the trade will be either if we go up over today's high, yes, then it'll be a long. Today's lows, it'll be a short back to this 490, 484 area. And Powell is speaking tomorrow, so it will definitely be interesting to see what happens. So that's why a lot of the marketplace were not working, because we had this choppy range. Understand the concepts, 10 a.m. concepts, opening highs and lows. All right, guys, that's it for today. Sorry for that video. See you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye.